Hey, my little munchies. It is time for the next chapter of Pinocchio. Thank you for those that responded with your opinions on whether or not you thought it was a good idea for him to skip school to go try to rescue his dad. Everybody said it was not a good idea because you need to stay in school and learn. So that was very nice. Let's see what happens if he got in trouble or anything like that. We're on chapter 12. And if you didn't watch the video for chapter 11 yet, watch that first so that you know what's going on. So in the chapter, there's the shark. The shark has been spotted in the ocean, and Pinocchio did not want to go, but the boys led him astray, didn't they? They said, have that donut. I mean, not the donut. Come on, let's go with us. You can study any day. So he's like, all right, let's go. I'll race you there. Here we go with chapter 12, In Search of the Terrible Shark. Pinocchio reached the shore before any of his friends. When he got there, however, he saw no sign of the shark. Finally, his friends arrived. Hey, where's that shark? Pinocchio asked. Maybe he's at breakfast or taking a nap, one boy said, winking. Pinocchio realized that the boys had played a trick on him, lying to him to get him to skip school. You guys were right. It was not a good idea. Those boys were not being honest. We had to, they exclaimed. You're a goody-goody. You make us look bad. And don't think of kicking us again, one of the boys warned. You may have dangerous wooden feet, but there are 7 of us and only 1 of you. 1 of me is still better than all of you, Pinocchio replied. Oh, really? The oldest or boldest boy said, reaching out and hitting Pinocchio in the head. Bonk! Pinocchio hit him back, and within a few minutes, a furious battle was raging. Although he was only 1 against 7, Pinocchio's wooden feet held their own and caused plenty of howls. Ow! Where was I? Backing off, the boys decided to try another approach. Instead of throwing punches at Pinocchio, they began to throw books. Pinocchio ducked, first to the left and then to the right. The books flew right over his head and into the sea, where the fish tried to eat them, then spat them out. After a few minutes, only one of Pinocchio's books was left. It was his favorite, a big, heavy math book. Oh, they were throwing Pinocchio's books at him. Well, that's not nice. I thought they were throwing their books, but it was Pinocchio's books. The boys surrounded Pinocchio until they stood in a circle around him. Then the boy holding the math book threw it at Pinocchio with all of his strength. But instead of hitting Pinocchio, the book hit one of the other boys in the head. The injured boy turned pale as a ghost and fainted. Uh-oh, all of the boys cried, thinking they had committed murder. They turned and ran. Well, that's not nice. They thought they murdered him and they just ran away. Only Pinocchio stayed behind. Running to the sea, he took his handkerchief. You know what a handkerchief is? It's like a cloth tissue that men used to. My dad still does. He keeps a handkerchief in his pocket, and if he needs to blow his nose, he just pulls out his handkerchief and blows his nose and then puts his handkerchief back. It's kind of gross, really. We use tissue now. But running to the sea, Pinocchio took his handkerchief, soaked it in the cool water, and bathed the injured boy's head. Please wake up, Eugene, he cried. Please don't die. Oh, why did I skip school? What will become of me now? Suddenly, Pinocchio heard heavy steps approaching. Looking up, he saw 2 police officers standing near him. What's your name? One of them asked. Pinocchio. Did you hurt this boy? No, stammered the puppet. Well then, who did? Pinocchio wouldn't say. He was no tattletale. One of the officers picked up the math book and then looked at Eugene's bruise. This is the book that injured him, he concluded. Whose book is this? The other officer asked. Mine, Pinocchio admitted. Uh-oh. Do you think he's going to get in trouble? Do you think they're going to blame Pinocchio? I kind of think so. That was all the officers needed to hear. They arranged for some fishermen to take care of Eugene and then grabbed a hold of Pinocchio and began walking him to jail. Not again. Halfway there, a sudden gust of wind picked up Pinocchio's cap and blew it down the street. "Please," he begged the officers, "can I go get my hat? If I am to sit in some drafty prison, I am going to need my hat." "All right," the officer said, "but hurry up and get it, and then come right back." And hurry Pinocchio did. When he had retrieved his hat, ooh, a vocab word, retrieved. Our little crown on her head that Princess Buttercup used to do. Remember, retrieved means when you go fetch something and you bring it back. Like Ray Ray, where's Ray Ray? Ray Ray likes to retrieve the ball. So he went and got his hat and brought it back. Retrieved. Where am I? When he had retrieved his hat, he continued to hurry as fast as he could in the other direction, away from the officers and back to the sea. After all, he had a father to find. Pinocchio thought he was home free until, that is, he heard a terrible panting behind him. I think that's one of our vocab words too, panting, when to breathe really heavy. Or dogs like to stick it. There's Ray Ray. Dogs like to stick out their tongue like she's doing now. I keep losing my place. The police officers had set their police dog after him. Alidoro, for that was the dog's name, was very fast and fierce. Fierce. He came so close at times that Pinocchio could feel his hot breath behind him. Lucky for Pinocchio, he was near the ocean. A few more steps and Pinocchio leaped up and into the water. Running too fast to stop, Alidoro fell into the water too. Unfortunately for him, he could not swim. Oh no, what's going to happen? Alidoro tried and tried to do the doggy paddle, but it was no use. He was sinking like a stone. "Help!" he gurgled. Pinocchio hesitated. After all, the dog had been trying to hurt him. Seconds later, however, the poor dog's cries broke Pinocchio's heart. "If I help you," he said, "will you promise to stop chasing me?" "I promise! Hurry!" Pinocchio swam out to Alidoro, grabbed a hold of his tail, and pulled him to shore. "Thank you, puppet," Alidoro cried when he got his breath back. "If I can ever return the favor, I will." Do you think we're going to see Alidoro again? Do you think he's going to return that favor? You tell me. Wishing Alidoro good luck, but still not trusting him completely, Pinocchio swam back out a bit. He swam along the shoreline until he spotted a small cave out of which rose a spiral of smoke. "Someone's got a fire going in there," he thought. "Wonderful, I can dry my wet clothes and get warm." Before he could reach the cave, however, he was caught and lifted up in a giant net, along with a big crowd of fish of all kinds and sizes. They were all fighting and struggling desperately to get free. Looking up, Pinocchio saw that the net was being held by a fisherman. "Yum!" the fisherman cried, looking at his catch. "Fish for dinner!" "I'm glad I'm not a fish," Pinocchio thought to himself. The fisherman took him, along with all the other fish, to a dark place in the cave. A giant pan of oil was sizzling over an open fire. "Let's see," the fisherman mused. "What shall I have for dinner tonight? Shall I have a bass, a flounder, a whitefish, or an anchovy?" As he spoke, he reached into the net and pulled these fish out one by one. And then he grabbed a hold of Pinocchio. "What kind of fish is this?" he asked. "For your information," Pinocchio replied, insulted, "I happen to be a puppet, not a fish." The fisherman said. "A puppet fish? I have never tasted one of those." Pinocchio trembled. I think that's another vocab word. Trembled. "Didn't you hear me say that I am not a fish? Could you be having this conversation with a fish?" "Well, you are obviously a very smart fish," the fisherman replied. I will admit that you deserve some respect, so I will let you choose the way in which you are to be cooked. Do you wish to be fried in a pan or stewed in tomato sauce with garlic and capers? Some choice, Pinocchio thought, starting to cry. No preference? The fisherman asked. Okay then, he said, and dipped Pinocchio in egg and flour. Frying it is. Uh-oh, guess what? That's the end of the chapter. Tomorrow you'll have to find out whether or not Pinocchio gets fried or if he gets away. We still have this much left in the book, so hopefully he doesn't get fried. We'll have to find out. Tomorrow's chapter 13 called Fairy Makes Pinocchio a Promise. Maybe Fairy rescues Pinocchio. What do I want you to write me this time? I want you to write me, what was that dog's name? Alidoro? I want you to write me and tell me whether or not you think we'll see Alidoro again and why. And maybe how Alidoro might rescue Pinocchio if we see him again. One thing that I saw when you sent me all of your things was that everybody had capital letters. Awesome. And everybody had punctuation with your periods. So good job remembering that. And you all were doing really good at your handwriting too. So I was super happy about that. So good job, you guys. When you write that, everybody should be hooked up on Homeroom now. So that's how your parents or you will send me a picture in your album on Homeroom. I still need to send an email to parents to explain Homeroom to them, but they did get an email, and I think just about all of them are all hooked up. Okay, guys, have a wonderful afternoon. Enjoy the beautiful weather again, and make sure to tell me whether or not you think you'll see Alidoro again. If you're not sure how to spell Alidoro, sound it out, please. A-O-I-I-D-D. Or, what makes the or sound? R, is that an R? R, O-R, Alidoro. Oh. Love you guys. Air hugs. See you later. How do I turn this off? Wait.